Assalamu alaikum and good morning, everyone. So, today we have on board Nageen Rizvi, and we're going to have a friendly chat over working from home and how is the experience for working women in specific who are trying to juggle between their work responsibilities and with work as well. So, a bit about Nageen. Nageen Rizvi is currently handling government relations and public affairs for FrieslandCampina Engro Pakistan. She was previously working as head of corporate communications and sustainability with the same company. She has been in the industry for almost 14 years and has won many national and international awards for companies she worked with. Nageen has represented Pakistan at international forums of Commonwealth early in China and twice in London. In 2019, Nageen received Pride of Pakistan Award from Shehla Raza, Minister of Women Development Sindh. So, Nageen, it's lovely to have you on board. Welcome. So, a bit
Thanks,
about
Ash.
how things are at Friesland Campina right now. How is the work from home arrangement coming along?
Well, thanks for having me, Aisha. It's great. You today gave me a reason to actually get up and wear lipstick. So it was quite. Friesland Campina has been like rest of the organization faced with this challenge of COVID and working and ensuring food safety. So we have been very well prepared to handle this, and our teams mostly are working from home, but our real heroes, who are our sales people and our supply chain people, they have been on the field because we are a dairy company. We make all-purs, and for all-purs, we
Hmm.
have to ensure that we collect the milk from the
Of course.
farmers. And so our supply chain has been collecting the milk, ensuring social distancing, ensuring all the safety measures, and in fact set quite an example of following the protocols of COVID-19. And of course, with food safety, you have to be extra careful. So we've been working around the clock, even from home. When initially this lockdown happened, so our purpose was to ensure that the nutrition reaches to every household of Pakistan.
So
It is
important.
extremely important. Health and safe milk is very, very important. So our teams have been phenomenally working. Our sales team is on the ground. Our supply chain is on the ground. So they are our real heroes. Yeah.
Wow. Because in a company like Friesland Campina, you are responsible for food, health, nutrition, and a lot of other things. So I feel that this puts everyone on the team in a position of great responsibility. uh, so it's amazing that how you have all adapted very quickly and been agile to stay relevant and to be there for the community at large. So that's key.
Yeah.
So going forward to my next question, I would like to know, how do you manage work from home and work life balance? Given that you're a working mother, you have family responsibilities as well. So how's that going along for you?
Okay, so initially we thought it's going to be very frankly drive us crazy because we are so used to going to office and having our social interactions and being in
Yeah.
government relations. You need to be given like in a situation right now, your interaction with the government bodies, with the food regulatory bodies, getting everything, ensuring that the business operations remain very, very
Mm.
smooth given the nature of our products. So it was extremely important to be at the top of everything. However, surprisingly, work from home was not as difficult as we thought it would be. In fact, we have adopted to it quite smoothly, and the government and the respective authorities have been very easy to deal with over WhatsApp, over phone calls. I mean, only
Mhm.
once I had to go and meet a government official, and everything was handled very smoothly. They've been very supportive, and they have been very, very rational about things. So that was
Because
good.
I feel
Yeah.
this is a time the community is also coming together because
Yes,
now we're
absolutely.
united for a common purpose, that is the health, safety, and protection of everyone.
Hmm.
So, if you had some advice for our audience in terms, especially for working mothers, how can they balance their work from home and their family responsibilities and, set clear boundaries between the two? So, is there anything that you would like to suggest for that?
Look, with working mothers, it is wonderful. I know a lot of us, I don't feel a little unsure about it that, oh, I'm not giving enough attention to my kids. But working from home, what happens is that the children are very intelligent nowadays, you see. So they
Yes.
do understand that the parents, if they're working, if they have the responsibilities, they automatically become very independent. They observe, they see you. If you're on your laptop, then they would generally respect your boundaries. Mostly, unless you have very small children, they would come running and say hi to your colleagues, but otherwise they would respect that. So children are, with working mothers, they become automatically very independent. Like I have two boys, 11 and
Okay.
13. Yeah. And they are more independent now. I mean, from 7 years back and right now, I can see the transition, and I can see the difference, that how independent they are. They understand their responsibilities, they understand the delivery, because they know that the parents are working, both of them are working. So there are certain expectations from the children, and those expectations they have to meet themselves. खुद पढ़ाई करेंगे, बैठ के माँ नहीं
Hmm.
पढ़ाएगी, because माँ काम करती है. So children are very intelligent nowadays. We do fear, in fact, a lot of mothers who are new moms or professionals who are about to become moms, they fear the fact कि अच्छा babies हो जाएंगे तो अब how will we work? Maybe we won't
Yes.
be able to work. They leave their careers. But trust me, and this is coming from experience. In fact, I also left for a bit when my child was born, but now the organizations are so aware of the needs and of the brain drain that happens when these kind of situations occur, that they're offering a lot of facilities, and
Hmm.
women are able to not only work from home but also have flexible hours, have daycare facilities. In all the good organizations, these things are being offered, and women empowerment is on the rise now. So yeah.
Obviously. So, and I think COVID-19 also gives a wonderful opportunity to teach children, especially who are mature enough to understand about boundaries. So, for example, if a parent is sitting and working from home, so this would be, I think, a good time to tell them, that if they were to come into the room, they should like knock before entering. So this is also a good time for like habit training as well, I feel, for
And
children.
easiest way to work is actually, for instance, assign a certain area, which we have been seeing a lot. Assign a
Hmm.
certain area which is away from the distractions. For instance, for me, it's my dining area where I sit and I work from, because there is less of commotion here, less of movement
Hmm.
here, so it gets easier. This is the new norm now. So till the lockdown is there, we have to adjust accordingly. Yeah.
So, another thing that I would like to like know from you is that since we are all juggling with a lot of work and a lot of responsibilities as well, so at the same time it's very important, especially for women, I think a lot more important to take that personal space or personal time apart for themselves. When you get
Yes.
that, you get your own personal zone where you can just like sit and enjoy, probably like read a book, or just like watch TV without interruption, and you experience that state of flow, as I would like to call it. So how do you take time for that? uh,
You know,
is there anything?
like,
Do you have a routine for that or something?
no, I'm very, very, my first top priority when it comes, when the morning starts, the way I function is I make a list of things to do, right?
Okay.
And my official things are different and my personal things are different. So once I'm done ticking and getting everything done for work, after that my personal time starts. And in that time, fortunately or unfortunately, with this work from home situation, I've been able to achieve a lot more things. Like, my My garden needed my attention, and I was delaying it for months and months. I was able to do that. I started baking, which I've never been a baker in my life ever. I'm more of a Betty Crocker type person. I start, but I
Of
started
course.
baking from scratch, and I really enjoyed that. And there was a sense of accomplishment, doing something new. Sometimes you just Netflix and chill. Some people read, so different things. So every time you're trying to do something new, it's more exciting. It's fun. So luckily, this work from home has been very productive for me. Yeah,
That's great to hear because even now I'm personally experiencing that this work from home has given me more time and more flexibility to do a lot of things that I could not focus on before. Because
absolutely.
in Karachi, especially, a lot of our time is like wasted in commute, invested in sometimes I would say, irrelevant conversations and time wasting जो एक office में हो रही होती है ऊपर नीचे हम जा रहे होते हैं and then there's lunch and
Yes,
then there's tea and then there's this and then there's that
there are lots of
because having
distractions. Yeah, yeah.
yeah because having worked in Engro myself, I'm familiar कि वो एक harbor front में, the culture, it's very like relaxed and welcoming at the same
It's
time.
a very good culture, actually.
Yeah.
People work and then they interact and then they, go have a cup of coffee with their colleagues or friends, and it's really, really nice. And people are more motivated to work when the work culture is so friendly and relaxed. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of respect and there's a lot of trust when it comes to Friesland Campina and a lot of other organizations in FMCGs especially. There was a revolutionary concept of remote working, which people were earlier not familiar with, but
Hmm.
now by force they're more familiar with it. And even companies, they tend to capitalize on a lot of good talent,
Hmm.
not only within the country, but across cities, across the world. They can capitalize on it through remote working. And this from home has accelerated this concept and made the companies understand this. And but the more the companies understand it, it'll be great for them because it costs less. A lot of these standard costs are minimized, and you get you can get the best talent around the world. So it is brilliant. There's a positive way to look at it also. Yeah,
So it's more like operating in a world without borders. So you can get for
absolutely.
the best resource that you want at the cheapest price possible. So I think that also calls for both men and women, in fact, that they need to start focusing on upgrading their skills and become globally competitive instead of, staying in their comfort zone. कि नहीं, चलो, in our country, इतनी जरूरत नहीं है थोड़े से काम चल जाएगा और we don't need to uh, like innovate or we don't need to come up with new ideas because यहाँ ऐसा ही है. So I think we need to start becoming globally relevant at the same time.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree more, Aisha. In fact, people who want to excel in their careers, people who are ambitious, they do not have this concept. They have to be
Hmm.
globally competitive. They have to keep on, improving their skill set. They have to try new things, from marketing to corporate communications to now government affairs. I mean, um, every time a role has been challenging. Every time, I'm just talking personally. You have to take it on board and excel at it, because there's no other
Hmm.
choice if you want to survive, not only in the current market but globally. And it is brilliant.
Hmm.
Every new opportunity adds something stronger to your portfolio. So अगर grow करना और excel करना है, तो there's no other choice but to upgrade yourself. Yes.
Indeed. So I think that's also a message for uh, both young and the millennials as well as people who are even in senior roles that at this point in time, at, you need to
Status को
become
नहीं चलता.
competitive. status को
Yeah.
नहीं चलेगा, because COVID has served as a great equalizer. It has blurred the boundaries between the social hierarchy exists करती थी, which was preventing some people from rising to the top and other people just like dominating the game. That boundary is becoming blurred. So it's now all about how much value you add, and whether that value is like tangible, people can see it, people can feel it. Only then you're relevant. Otherwise, one can get wiped out very quickly. That's what I'm observing as well with the market
Well,
trend.
actually इस वक्त इकोनॉमी का जो हाल है और जॉब मार्केट इस वक्त जो है, so whatever you do, if you actually add value to the organization, it is clearly visible. You know,
Hmm.
people who are in the top leadership can clearly see whether you're adding value, how competent you are, and people who do not add value वो नजर आ जाता है. So you don't
That's
even
true.
have to try much hard. Yeah.
And now I think you can't even get away वो जो एक traditional कुछ हमारा
यहाँ
culture
से
है,
सब
you
चीज़
know,
skip कर
getting
लिया.
away with
Okay.
talking a lot and bragging away without doing much, or you know, look busy do nothing वाला भी एक जो चीज होती थी, because now uh, the only thing that people are going to look at is the work that you actually produce and that you actually submit. So
It's
वो
all
नहीं है कि
about
आप
delivery.
ऑफिस में बैठे हुए हो and you're pretending to like look all busy and pretending to work while you're just busy with something else. So I think this is a wake up call for people who are practicing LBDN.
I find a very interesting comment from you. Look busy, do nothing, huh? Yeah, you've seen
Yeah.
quite a few of those.
Yeah, of course. So when you actually like work in an office environment, you do catch a few of those here and there, and then you're like, okay, fine. Where is the value versus what? Where is the noise and where's the value? You start uh, looking at it and trying to discern, okay, what the person is saying about himself or herself, that he or she is doing this and doing that. Is it really true or not? So up to it's all transparent. You produce value. It's right there. It's either in the form of an email or a document, or I mean, you just can't bluff your way around anymore.
Uh,
And I and I think that this is something that we Pakistanis, we needed a wake up call for this. It's very
yeah,
prominent in our culture.
yeah, I'm glad Pakistan has now moving towards more international standards. At least, in our sector, that's the only way to proceed, progress. And our millennials are very, very savvy with the digital age. And as we are listening to the customers more and hearing their needs, and I mean looking at their needs and observing their needs, so this is the way forward. We have to move on a more digital front. We have to ensure that we are not only market competitive but globally we are making the mark and are purpose
Mm,
driven. So when companies are purpose driven ना, तो फिर पैसा से ज़्यादा वो purpose important होता है, and
mm.
people are driven with that purpose. तो जब आप उस तरह से सोचने लगते हैं, then ये जो पुराने mindset थे of status quo वो चले जाते हैं. When you have a
That's
purpose that's making a difference, yeah.
And I feel this also gives companies that time and space to actually reflect on what they were doing, how effective that was, whatever money that they were spending out, whether it was yielding a ROI or not. So now it's all about spending with care and knowing कि अच्छा, if I'm spending over here, this is the value that I'm going to get in return as well. So this is another thing that I'm noticing coming up in our business community as well. People getting that realization about spending only where it adds value.
ROI तो सब देखते हैं, रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट तो सारे बिजनेस के लोग देखते हैं, बट अब हुआ ये है कि लोग बिजनेस फॉर द हेक ऑफ मनी अगर सिर्फ करते हैं ना, तो वो सक्सेसफुल होना शॉर्ट टर्म होता है उसका. बिजनेसेस अगर आप करते हैं टू फुलफिल अ नीड और पर्पस ड्रिवन बिजनेसेस आर, people are more inclined to choose products which are coming from companies which are purpose driven. For example, FrieslandCampina Engro Pakistan is driven with the purpose of nourishing Pakistan. So when our sales people go on ground, they are driven with the passion of providing safe milk to every household in Pakistan.
Hmm.
Our supply chain people, when they go and collect milk, they are driven with the purpose of providing a good living to Pakistani farmers, dairy farmers. उनकी इनकम बढ़ाएंगे, वो मिल्क कलेक्ट करेंगे, प्रोसेस करेंगे, इंश्योर करेंगे कि सेफ है और पैकेज करके आगे अपने कंज्यूमर्स तक पहुंचाएंगे. So it's not only the operation, the work that they do on an everyday basis is related
Hmm.
to a higher purpose. That's what motivates them. We actually tell them that they are heroes, and they are our heroes because in this situation, when everyone's sitting home, they are on the ground, and it's amazing. Their passion is amazing.
And in this scenario, the role of communications becomes all the more relevant. So, communications department is not the one to be taken on the side. It is the integral into lifeblood of an organization, especially in these times. पहले sales होता था, but I think now
सेल्स अभी भी होता
communications
है.
is
सेल्स
sales अभी
बहुत
भी है,
इम्पोर्टेंट है.
sales अभी भी है,
हाँ,
but now even
कम्युनिकेशंस का
communication is
रोल.
stepping up for that purpose.
Yeah, communication is very, very important. Clarity of communication, external, yeah, internal, of exactly the protocols, what internally we have to follow, and externally what we have to talk about. That is extremely important. In fact, in communications, the way our departments are structured, and even globally, the way the things are structured, it's called corporate affairs. So corporate affairs,
Hmm.
you take care of regulatory bodies, you take care of government relations, you take care of communications, you take care of media. So everything comes under corporate affairs. So corporate affairs ka role is वक्त in every organization has been very, very important because they take care of all the things and they cover all. They are basically the true enablers of commercial success.
Hmm.
Because अगर आप ये commercially नहीं operate करने देंगे तो पैसे नहीं बनेंगे companies में. So corporate affairs का role has been highlighted majorly in this crisis and in every crisis. So if you have a solid corporate
Indeed.
affairs team, companies are set.
Indeed. Business continuity के लिए भी the role of corporate affairs is one of the
Very
integral
important.
affairs.
Yeah.
When I was working, हम लोग ने जब business continuity plan पे काम किया था for Engro only, तो जो corporate affairs का जो roles highlight हुए थे, they were very organized and the communication objectives were like clearly spelled out. So at that time I learned that this is not something to be taken lightly, but then again you cannot just put away the instructions in a book or in a document and say okay, this is it. It needs to be implemented from top to bottom, uh,
Absolutely.
and and you need everyone on the same page in terms of what you're thinking, where you're going forward, and how do you plan to go forward with it. Because kabhi kabar maine dekha hai, writing में भी there's a lot of room for interpretation and double meaning, this ambiguity. So spelling each and everything out so that people know कि अच्छा this is it and this is not. So that the gray areas are no longer there and the black and white is like clearly defined. I think that's like key for
You're
successful.
absolutely correct. बिजनेस कंटिन्यूटी प्लानिंग को हम लोग अपनी कंपनी में हम उसको कॉर्पोरेट क्राइसिस कहते हैं. It's the
Hmm.
same thing, but just another term. So what happens is, what I've learned and how we take a crisis is, we take it as an opportunity. Like every crisis is actually an opportunity. Whatever challenges that are being posed to the company, um, the company can actually turn it around if handled correctly, if the teams handle it correctly, and
Hmm.
capitalize on it as a positive. If for example, um, if a customer complains about a certain product and he's disgruntled, you can actually, if you handle that customer correctly, you can change him into a lifetime customer. So it's
Hmm.
just about how you handle it. And the best way to go forward with certain scenarios, even in COVID-19, इसका तो unpredicted था काफी, in a lot of, I mean, all over the world, for governments also and for companies also. But majorly infectious diseases का हमारे पास crisis covered था. सो हमारी टीम्स जो है ना वो बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइज्ड ऑलरेडी बनी हुई हैं. वी हैव कंडक्टेड क्राइसिस ड्रिल्स, सो इट वाज नॉट एज डिफिकल्ट फॉर अस टू हैंडल इट. इफ यू आर वेल प्रिपेयर्ड एंड यू हैव एग्जीक्यूटेड ड्रिल्स, तो आसानी हो जाती है. इफ द कंपनीज आर वेल प्रिपेयर्ड. एंड ओपन कम्युनिकेशन, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट
Very,
across.
very important. And from whatever you just said, one insight that I would like to emphasize upon is the importance of being well prepared and planning for your risk in advance. uh,
Yes.
so having certain plans in place ताकि जब भी इस किस्म का कोई crisis आए, you know how to handle it, rather than
Hmm.
being all awestruck and dumbstruck. Oh, अब क्या करें, now what? Because that point in time is very critical. Either you make your customers, as you said, or you lose your customers, or you win them over. And this is also a very good time, I feel, for to actually win over the hearts of customers. You know, there's this concept known as heart loyalty. एक head loyal customers होते हैं who just purchase because they evaluate the features and the specs, and then there are heart loyal customers who want to buy from you because they love your brand. So making that transition from head loyal customers to heart loyal customers, I think this is an excellent time to like capitalize on that as well.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
All right,
I
thank you so much, Nageen, for your time. It was lovely having you over and lovely learning from you and your insight and everything that's going on in FrieslandCampina right now and how you're responding to the crisis promptly and efficiently. So goodbye and let's
great.
stay connected.
Thank you for having me, Aisha. It was great talking to you.
Great talking to you as
Always
well.
there
Take
whenever you
care.
need.
Of course, of
All
course.
right.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.